Now we're going to talk about the reservoirs and the signs and symptoms of Herpes simplex 1. Humans and animals serve as reservoirs for Herpes simplex, but only humans demonstrate the signs of the disease. HSV1 resides in the trigeminal ganglia, and it's a latent viral infection and can be called to consider it episomal latency. And it's a very persistent and is being considered a chronic viral infection. HSV expresses LAT and it regulates the genome of the host cell and interferes in the natural cell death. Maintain the host cells. And the reservoir of the virus is also reserved by LAT. LAT is the abbreviation for latency associated transcript. A neurous protein may bind to the DNA of the HSV and regulate the latency. In the future, the symptomatic period can occur while developing the outbreaks. Most of times, is asymptomatic, is not noticeable at all, and we're gonna talk about it later. Now we know that the principal reservoir, or the only reservoir from Herpes simplex, is the humans. We're gonna talk about the signs and symptoms of Herpes simplex 1. Sign and symptoms of the Herpes simplex. Many people who are infected with the Herpes simplex do not have any symptoms at all. It's called asymptomatic, but it can be vary for each person. The most common first signs and symptoms when the person gets the HSV for the first time, they show stinging, burning sensations on the skin, and it's followed by an outbreak of fluid-filled blisters, which appear on the skin and mucous membranes. How you can see in the picture, you can see around the lips. And for oral herpes, blisters formed on the lips can be transmitted to the tongue with an increase of saliva and with the possibility of foul breath. It's a dangerous virus. Some people think it's not, but it is, especially if a child is contaminated or if a newborn is contaminated. And it's something that you're gonna have for the rest of your life. You can contaminate someone anytime now when you have the outbreak shown. Herpes outbreaks occur in 2 stages, primary and recurrent. During the primary infections, the blisters can break and eventually cause the fluid from the blisters to ooze out. And then it will cross, leaving sore, which can last 2 to 4 weeks to heal for the first exposure. As long as the virus, fluid and blisters is kept moist, it can remain infectious. Talking about the recurrent stage, the recurrent phase of the virus are just reactivating and causing outbreaks that are far less severe. It's not so painful how it's the first time, the initial primary infection, but it's still painful. And this recurrent phase can be initiated by various factors such as cold, influenza, eczema, emotional and physical stress, gastric upset, menstruation, injury, exposure, and fever.